must do what only the Silver Surfer can.
In 2007, we got to watch the Fantastic Four come across Silver Surfer, a humanoid man made of silver riding on a board. At first glance, he seems like an enemy, but soon he turns into an ally. But who is this ally? Where did he come from? Since its first introduction, Silver Surfer has been an interesting character who only showed up as a side character in the adventures of the Fantastic Four. But if we turn back time, back in the late 1990s, we get to see a TV series that covers the backstory of this foe-turned-ally, who later becomes one of the Avengers. So, join us as we take a space ride through the Silver Surfer 1998 TV series. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. From idea to animation, the beginning of the Silver Surfer animated series. In the 1990s, there was a significant rise in the animated series from the Marvel Universe. People were really digging the TV adaptations of fan-favorite characters. So, Marvel paired up with Saban International Production House and decided to keep up with that. In the Fantastic Four animated series, we see Silver Surfer, but that was not for long. In this 1998 TV series, we get to watch Silver Surfer in his true glory. Jack Kirby, the king of comics, decided to pin down Silver Surfer back in 1966. He did not want to draw spaceships anymore, so he decided to draw the character on the surfboard. With that, we see the humble beginnings of this grandiose character. Initially, Silver Surfer was supposed to be a character made for the Fantastic Four. If you have seen the 2007 movie, which is something a lot of us remember Silver Surfer from, you would remember that this movie's story showed Silver Surfer as a side character, a character that comes to Earth tagging Galactus with him. The Earth is in danger, and then the Fantastic Four go against him, making him realize that Earth is worth fighting for. And then, there we go. Silver Surfer is no longer a four. While, sure, that story had its charm, the story that we see in the Silver Surfer series is much more grandiose. Silver Surfer is a cosmic entity from a planet far, far away from humans. He deals with planets with more significant advancements in technology than Earth has yet to achieve. He has to traverse through the cosmos for the sake of his master, who has given him a tiny bit of power to make him this strong. These grandiose ideas and concepts were truly explored and put into perspective when you watch the 1998 TV series. This follows a bit of different continuity because, in this series, we do not see Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer come face to face at all. But that is a good thing, for we get to focus completely on Silver Surfer's story with the far lesser known characters impacting his character growth. Overall, this series is true to the source material, with slight changes here and there to make it more fit for the TV media. The series is more focused on the melodrama that is brewing in the corner of the cosmos, and how Silver Surfer, a man with morality, has to face ethical and moral dilemmas, often as he tries to make friends with the boon and curse of cosmic power. Season 1 of the TV series ends on a cliffhanger, because a new season was supposed to be made. Sadly, there was a legal dispute between Marvel and Saban, which led to the discontinuation of this series, even though several episodes for the second season were already written. Still, with just 20 minutes each and 13 episodes, Larry Brody and the production team truly pack a punch that alters the way you have looked at the character for so long. Exploring the cosmic adventures of the Silver Surfer animated series. Now, let's begin Silver Surfer's journey. In the cosmos, there are a lot of planets and a lot of civilizations. If there are many civilizations, there will be war between them, for that is the natural way of things. However, why have this war when peace is an option? In the midst of civilizations like those of the Kree and the Skrulls, there was once a peaceful civilization based on the planet of Zenla. Zenla was the beacon of light in the otherwise grim and dark cosmos. Zenla homed the most peaceful and knowledgeable beings in the cosmos, and so several members of other civilizations wished to gain knowledge from the Zenla. One of the members of this Zenla civilization was Norrin Radd. He is a young student of the master of Zenla. At the same time, he has learned everything that is there to be learned on Zenla. Norrin is not fulfilled. He dreams of traveling to the stars and exploring everything the universe has to offer. His lover, Shala Bal, understands his curiosity, but she is not quite sure how Norrin would ever end up achieving his dreams. However, there is not much time to discuss that, because that day is special for Zenla. For this tie, at Zenla, one representative each from the Kree and Skrull has been accepted as a student. That forces these two groups, who who are always at war with one another, to come together and be peaceful with one another. This is definitely quite a joyous day, because who would have thought that one day they would get to see Kree and Skrull without fighting one another? But the joy does not last long. An ominous face shows up in the clouds and identifies himself as the Watcher, the supreme, all-knowing being who knows about whatever is happening in the universe. This supreme being is not meant to interfere. Let everything follow its fate. However, this time, the Watcher decided to open his mouth and break the vow of silence, for the civilization that enriches the whole universe is in danger. In the cosmos roams this supreme being with an insatiable hunger, known as Galactus. As cruel as a child, Galactus does not care about anything other than his sustenance. To sustain himself, he travels from one planet to another and drains the planet of its energy, wreaking havoc while he does so. Once he is full, he leaves without caring about the death of the patient, and this time, Galactus has targeted the Zenla. Knowing the importance of Zenla, the Watcher decided to inform the inhabitants of their doomed future, but his warning was a bit too late because Galactus showed up in a few moments. The Skrull and the Kree decide to band together and try to save Zenla from Galactus, but with one small move from Galactus, the entire fleet of the two groups was destroyed. The threat was imminent. The master of Zenla tried to persuade Galactus, but when he failed, Norrin decided to make the ultimate sacrifice. He went up to Galactus and offered to be his herald if Galactus promised to leave Zenla alone. Surprisingly, this worked. Shala Bal was not ready to let him go, because everything that he would be doing for Galactus would go against everything that Norrin had learned. Norrin reassured Shala Bal that he had a plan. He would take Galactus to the planets that were brimming with energy, but did not have any intelligent life forms living on them. He thought that would be the best way he could save several civilizations from being destroyed. Bidding his friends and family goodbye, Norrin went up to Galactus. Galactus decided to bestow Norrin with cosmic power to make sure his herald could do his job to the best of his capability. By giving him cosmic power, Galactus turned Norrin into the Silver Surfer, the supreme being who could simply take energy from the center of the stars and survive without the need for any air, water, or food. But with this, Galactus sealed away all of Silver Surfer's past memories. He was no longer Norrin Rad, and he was just a Silver Surfer now, born with a clean slate for memory and filled with loyalty for Galactus. Silver Surfer asked Galactus if he wanted to take energy from Zenla. Galactus refused, mentioning how he had given this courageous man his word and sent Silver Surfer off to find him a new planet to feast upon. Over time, Silver Surfer and Galactus had become quite the notorious duo. The inhabitants of the planets knew the moment Silver Surfer was there, they would have to leave. While Silver Surfer did his job somewhere, he always felt confused. He was not sure how he was born or why he kept serving Galactus mindlessly. Every time he saw the inhabitants of a planet flee, it tugged on his heartstrings because something about it made him emotional, even though he was not sure what it was. On the other hand, unbeknownst to anyone, there was a mad titan who was keeping his eyes on Silver Surfer and everything he was doing. It was Thanos. It's the same one from the Avengers movie. In the series, we realize that the Titan is very much in love with someone whom he wishes to please. In his eyes, the only way to please her would be to bring Galactus to his knees. So, Thanos casts a nova to swiftly get Silver Surfer off course. The derailment leads to Silver Surfer ending up on a planet that seemingly had a huge source of energy. But before Silver Surfer could call for Galactus, things took a turn for the worse. Seemingly, everything on the planet came to life and started attacking the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer tries to run away, but the planet refuses to let him go. Why? Because the planet is under the control of Thanos. Thanos shows up when Silver Surfer is weak and drained, and Thanos gets into his head, trying to figure out what the secret is that will take down Galactus. But to his chagrin, he found no such clue, because Silver Surfer's brain is wiped clean of his memories about his past life as Norrin Rad. But Thanos finds a sealed door, and using his powers, when he opens it, memories of his past flood the mind of Silver Surfer. But when Thanos learns that the man in front of him is from Zenla, the civilization that Thanos desperately wanted to be a part of but failed to, he loses his cool. He retreated, clearly unstable, freeing Silver Surfer and the planet. We learn that the planet is actually living and is the only one of its kind. Its name is Ego. Ego is extremely grateful to Silver Surfer for helping him get out of the clutches of the Mad Titan, but Silver Surfer has other things to worry about. When Silver Surfer reaches out to Galactus to have a conversation, he finds out that Galactus is trying to attack Earth. Understandably more compassionate, Silver Surfer goes down to Earth to guide people about the attack. But when he realizes that humans do not have the advanced technology to abandon the planet, he decides to stand back and fight. In the chaos that ensued, a girl called Frankie Ray got hurt. Silver Surfer healed her with his cosmic energy because Frankie had been trying to be nice to him all along. and he wanted to use his power for good. This cosmic energy that healed her also became ingrained in her genes, allowing Frankie to teleport into Galactus' ship, unbeknownst to anyone. As Silver Surfer tries to stop Galactus, he decides to make the ultimate sacrifice. Silver Surfer laid down himself just to prove his determination against Galactus, who had enslaved him in such a way. Moved by his courage to go against a mighty being like himself, Galactus decides to let Silver Surfer go free. But Galactus told him that he would not take the cosmic power back from Silver Surfer because now, with his power and silver appearance, Silver Surfer has been marked and is hated all over the galaxies. Galactus is sure that Silver Surfer will not be able to find Zenla alone, and no one will be willing to help him. While he may not have said it outright at first, later Galactus confirms that even though he has set Silver Surfer free, he never claimed that he would make it easy or possible for Silver Surfer to reach his family. Turns out that in his rage, Galactus threw Zenla far away from its original position, making this planet seemingly lost for eternity. When Galactus meets Frankie, who is lost on his ship, Galactus analyzes her and decides to make her his next herald, better known as Nova. With Nova as his herald, Galactus spared Earth and went on his destructive way, while Silver Surfer vows to find Zenla and Shala Bal. At one point, it seems that he has found Zenla. Between the Skrull and the Kree battle, there is this energy beam that comes and touches both parties. This odd behavior of the energy beam, along with what seemed to be a call for help, made Silver Surfer fly down and see where the TIE transmission was from. On touching him, the energy beam covers the Silver Surfer into fractite crystal, which seemed to cover the planet too. At first, he tried to destroy them with his cosmic power, but when he noticed that his energy simply made them stronger, he gave in to them. That is when the miracle happened, and the fractites broke away. As the air cleared, a surprise was waiting for him. It was Zenla, his homeland. At first, he assumed it was a trap, but then he decided to go down to the planet, and everything seemed very similar. As he roamed, suddenly he met Shala Bal and his old friends. Everyone rejoiced at his return, and everything seemed quite well. Yet, there was something missing. What is a reunion without a little conflict? When Silver Surfer mentioned it, one of his friends, Doric, challenged him to a duel until death. This came as a surprise to Silver Surfer because Zenla is not one for wars and fights. Yet he agreed to the fight with Doric, giving away his cosmic powers. Silver Surfer came back to his Norn Rad form and got into the duel. During the fight, a random river came into existence under the surface of the land out of nowhere, which surprised Norrin. It was like the planet he was on was so familiar and yet unfamiliar because some things did not make sense. Like this river. The river was extremely swift, and as the ground split under their feet, both Norrin and Doric were swept away by the currents immediately after they fell into the water. To save Doric, Norrin called out to his board, despite Doric's pleas to not call it. This board came to him, and that made Silver Surfer question everything. He realized that his board would only come to him if the cosmic power was flowing through his veins. So sadly, even though he thought he was Norrin, he was actually still Silver Surfer himself. Realizing that this was just a fraudulent version of his home planet, Silver Surfer had to watch each of the familiar faces disappear. Angry after watching Shala Bal disappear right before his eyes, he called out to the Grand Master of this scheme to show themselves. But after a few moments, he realized he was on Ego, the last of the living planets, which is the only one capable of modulating things to this degree. When asked, Ego makes it clear that he is desperate to make Norrin stay. This is because being the last of its kind has made Ego scared about his well-being, and he wanted a defender to protect him. To do so, Ego was willing to go as far as to create a fake Zenla. Ego tried to hold Silver Surfer hostage, but his powers were overwhelming enough to destroy Ego. Feeling sorry for Ego, Silver Surfer restores Ego to his full health again and goes about his search for Zenla with a very grateful Ego swearing allegiance to him. As he dreams about Galactus giving him the details of where Zenla is, Silver Surfer is awoken by Eternity and Infinity, the brother-sister duo who are the creators and main beings of the universe. They need Silver Surfer to help them because Thanos has figured out a way to make time move backward, which puts everything, including Zenla, under threat. Silver Surfer decides to go to Galactus to find a way to deal with Thanos, but comes to the bitter realization that Galactus and Nova, too, have fallen victim to Thanos' time trap. Turns out Thanos is in love with the statue of Lady Chaos, under the impression that if he impresses the statue with enough chaos, the lady will love him. Thanos has decided to destroy the whole universe as we know it. With the help of Eternity, Silver Surfer is able to come to wherever Thanos is. But sadly, his powers are not strong enough, with doom imminent. Would our Silver Surfer be able to survive? We never get to know as the series ends on this cliffhanger, leaving fans hungry for more. Main characters of the show. Over the course of the 13 episodes, we get to see a lot of characters, but out of so many, we have 6 characters who show up more often and have titular roles in the character arc and the plot of the series. They are:
You must stop! Do not force me to fight back!
Silver Surfer. Of course, we have the Silver Surfer, voiced by the amazing Paul Lesiembre. The titular character of Norrin Radd comes to life. We truly understand the struggles of this young man, meant to be the next master of Zinla, being forced to make a huge sacrifice for the greater good and the safety of his people. He is compassionate and caring, and even when he has lost his memories, thanks to Galactus, we truly understand the struggles he faces as he tries to understand who he is and what he was made for. He is a man of morals, and he has his own ideals, which shine through in every episode, as the series tackles important topics such as slavery and environmental degradation. Norrin's character is the voice of sane and morality in each scene, which is quite necessary and yet refreshing due to how he is presented. He is the Captain Kirk in the series, facing constant moral dilemmas.
We have had no need for space travel since the Enlightenment.
Shala Bal. Shala Bal is the lover of Silver Surfer. In the series, we get to see her in the first episode until Norrin leaves to become Silver Surfer, and we see her in episodes 12 and 13, where she shows up first as the fraudulent version created by Ego, the living planet, and later in Norrin's dream. She is a supportive, understanding lover, and it is clear that the producers had quite the plan with her character in the second season. She was voiced by the talented Camilla Scott, who we have heard before as Lilandra from X-Men. Shala Bal may not have a lot of screen time. However, she is one of the biggest characters in the series because everything Silver Surfer does is to get back to her. She is his driving force.
In all the universe, there is nothing I cannot do.
Galactus. Galactus is the biggest threat to the universe, with his main goal being to satiate his hunger, which seems insatiable for the most part. Galactus keeps on going from one planet to another, devouring each one that he comes across. With his arrival, like a cascade, everything changed in Norrin's life. If Galactus had not arrived, Norrin would not have ended up being the Silver Surfer. This, along with Galactus being the one to push Zinla so far into the universe, making the planet extremely hard to find, is what really drives the story home. We can understand how this cosmic entity can simply exist, being so nonchalant and cruel. With James Blendick voicing it, Galactus seems to come to life right in front of our eyes with his insatiable hunger and incorrigible god complex.
I am the Watcher. It is my task to note all events of significance.
Uatu. Uatu is one of the Watchers, the all-knowing supreme beings who simply sit and watch. As a Watcher, Uatu is supposed to never interfere, ever help, and simply watch. But Uatu breaks that vow whenever time is of the essence. He broke his vow when he tried to help the people of Zinla by telling them that Galactus was approaching. When Galactus had started feeding on the planet, Norrin Radd asked Uatu how to stop the cosmic being, and Uatu decided to help him by breaking his vow repeatedly. Uatu has played his role in moving the story along. Uatu sat and watched as Thanos destroyed the whole universe once he figured out the way to reverse time. In the first 3 episodes, he is voiced by Dennis Akiyama, and in the rest of the series, Uatu is voiced by Colin Fox. With such amazing voice actors, Uatu is almost painted in a sympathetic light.
Will fall beneath our heel.
Thanos. Gary Crawford truly did amazing work when he voiced Thanos in the 1998 Silver Surfer series. In this series, Thanos is a mad titan who is infatuated with Lady Chaos, even though she is just a statue. In his mind, he can seemingly hear her voice, and we see him have lengthy conversations with Lady Chaos the entire show, treating her like a very much alive lover when really, she is just a statue. Thanos is so infatuated with Lady Chaos that he decides that the best way to make her alive would be to bring enough chaos into the world. So to do that, he reversed time, destroying the whole universe for the sake of love. As we look into this portrayal of Thanos, we understand how pessimistic and broken this Titan truly is. At one point, we even see him having what seems to be a mental breakdown when he is reminded of his time in Zinla, where he went to learn about peace and came back without learning anything because of something that had happened. We can see how unstable Thanos is throughout the series, making him more interesting as a villain.
Let me ring the old dinner bell.
Note, in the series, Frankie Ray is a skater girl whose skating time gets disrupted when Galactus shows up unannounced to drain Earth. She is the first human that Silver Surfer interacts with, and even heals at one point. Tara Rosling really nails the attitude, diction, and speaking pattern of a young girl who is sympathetic enough to hold out a hand of friendship to an alien who is seemingly wringing destruction with him. This kindness towards Silver Surfer is what makes Silver Surfer heal her, when she gets hurt. This leads to her gaining the cosmic power in her DNA, which leads to her getting wherever she puts her mind, which happens to be Galactus' ship in the series. Once he has analyzed her, Frankie gets turned into Nova, the next herald of Galactus after Silver Surfer. Over the series, we see the two heralds forming an alliance and doing their best to work together and not face the wrath of Galactus. Why did the Silver Surfer animated series become a fan favorite? Silver Surfer became a hit amongst fans almost instantly after it was aired, partly because of the visual tapestry and mostly because of how Larry Brody presented the character. The Silver Surfer TV series from 1998 holds a special place for a lot of us. If we look at the animation, we see that while it has a hand-drawn aspect of it, clearly an homage to the legendary Jack Kirby, who penned Silver Surfer for the first time ever, the animation of the show is wacky in its own way, with a hand-drawn art style very reminiscent of the 1960s. When the Silver Surfer was first introduced, you would not expect the animated series to throw you in a loop with the cell-based animation, but they did. We see that while everything has that hand-drawn aesthetic to it, Galactus seems to be almost 3D in the animation. This is certainly quite eerie and weird to look at, but it truly puts into perspective how this cosmic being is bigger and greater than the rest of us. One of the biggest perks of this TV series is that it is one of the most thought-provoking cartoons. It is slow and serious but fun at the same time. The TV series adapted the story arcs from the comic books in a fulfilling way, which did not leave the fans feeling left out. The genuineness of the adaptation, along with the beautiful animation, really makes the serious subject Silver Surfer has always tackled easy to understand. Silver Surfer has always dealt with heavy topics like slavery, imperialism, and environmental degradation. With this wacky yet nostalgic animation, Silver Surfer reaches the hearts of the viewers and makes them truly think about the plight, the trials and tribulations that Norrin Radd has to face for the greater good, and how things can turn out even when you are doing your best.
This must be the force behind Thanos' field.
Marvelous verdict. Silver Surfer is a character who was originally made as an ad character for the Fantastic Four series, but over the years, Silver Surfer has filled that role and expanded out of it. He went from just an astronomer on Zenla turned into the Herald of Galactus, to one of the main heroes who protect Earth. This is what truly makes Silver Surfer so satisfying to follow. His character arc is beautiful, and by the end, you are rooting for him too, even though you may have disliked him on his first appearance. Even though the second season of the series was never released due to an argument between the production companies, Season 1 of Silver Surfer will always be a happy trip down memory lane for old fans, and for new fans. It is the perfect series to start off with Marvel's animated universe. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks everyone.